I'll ask her to come on because I think she's dropped off.
Okay. Hello. Thanks once again for coming in. I'll quickly go on to review what we did last week in terms of managing quality and service delivery in the health and social care. So last week we looked at theories and approaches used for healthcare delivery. Quality as applied to business is a bit different from quality as applies to health and social care. So even though we're looking at few theories in quality, we'll try and relate this to health and social care settings. So a quick review of what we did last week.
She's joining back in. Maybe. Okay. So you will see her pop up, which will come. Allow. So allow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So last week we had a brief look at theories and approaches measuring and monitoring quality. So I just want to run through briefly so that those who were not here last week and could not take part will be able to understand. Right. So if you look at our next slide, last week we said that in terms of quality, the issue of quality has been in the system for many years. Yeah. How do I get this one off? I just cut it.
Yeah, just cut it. That's fine.
Right. The issue of quality dates back.
Sorry, Mavish, are you able to hear us? I think Mavish, you need to enable your microphone because I think you're online. Should do that now. Yeah, you can close that.
Okay.
Nice.
So we spoke about the issue of quality, which dates back hundreds of years. The first attempt, as we spoke on last week, to bring quality into service delivery in the health and social care sector was by Mr. Codman, who was a surgeon at Massachusetts General Hospital. He tried to introduce the concept of quality, which was by then used in the manufacturing sector. Right. We all would like to expect nothing less than quality in the healthcare system because we are dealing with human beings and you can't afford to make any mistake. Right. However, when Codman tried to bring in the system of quality, it was so new to the health system that he actually got himself sacked from the hospital where he was working. Right. So total quality measurement is, even though it's quite important, finally gained momentum, and it has become a key issue within academia and policy circle as well. We'll look at one of the old models that we use, which was propounded by Donabedi in 2005. And he came out with the three components of measuring quality of care, looking at the structure, the process, and the outcome. And when we say structure, it means things that are put in place, infrastructure-wise, machine-wise, equipment-wise, happen to be the structure. And then the process is what goes through when the patient goes to the hospital until you leave. That is the process. And then the outcome is the patient outcome or the satisfaction that you get from using the hospital services. Whether you became healed, you were happy, you went in as somebody who was sick, and you came out as someone who was very healthy. So we look at how Dr. Bedian look at different ways of measuring quality of service provision in the health and social care, which was quite different from quality in manufacturing. So the outcome measures, according to this model, reflect the impact of patient and demonstrate the end result of the improvement. In the process, this reflects the way your system or processes work to deliver desired outcome. And I've given an example, the length of time a patient waits for a senior clinical review. If a patient receives standard of care or not, you start wash their hands, recording of incidents, and acting on the findings. These are all the processes that go on within the healthcare system. And the structure, this reflects the attributes of the service or the provider, such as the staff-patient ratio. If you have more patients in relation to staff, there can be anything quality because there are few staff in there. So these are all issues that the theory addresses. So we just move briefly through that. And this diagrammatic representation of what Navedian felt is quality in the healthcare structure. Right. So we have the structure, the process, and the outcome. Let me explain briefly the benefit of those who couldn't take part in the last lecture. We have the physical and organizational characteristics where healthcare occurs. And as I said, that could be the buildings that you have the equipment, the machines that are used. So if you go to the hospital, you can see the physical structures over there. The better quality they are, the better the quality of care that you receive. Then we've got the processes which focus on the care delivered to patient. Example, the services, diagnostics, or treatment. The quality that you receive will depend on the services that you receive, right from going through the reception, how best they receive you, how they speak with you politely, how they send you to the nurses, how they look at you, how the doctors take care of you, the sort of medication, the treatment you receive. That is the process. And then the outcome is the final satisfaction that you get out of going through the system. So the effect of healthcare on the status of patients and the population. If you go to the hospital and come back, do you come back healed, satisfied, happy going back, or you actually went to the hospital and became more sicker? Right, so that is the outcome. So when you are measuring quality in the health and social care sector, it's not just like measuring the quality of a machine or a car, but then the quality runs through the structures that are in place in the hospital, the processes that you go through when you enter the hospital, and then the final outcome, patient outcome, whether you are happy with your condition, whether your condition has improved. That is quality as looked at by Dr. Bedian, his model of quality of care. So this is a bit different from the ordinary quality that we know in manufacturing. All right, let's quickly run through some of the quality issues that we look at. Measurement of quality. Measurement can show a number of important pieces of information. How well our current process is performing, whether we have achieved our aims, how much variation there is in our data and hence the process, whether a small test of change is having a desired impact, whether the changes made have resulted in an improvement, whether a change has been sustained. So if you want to look at quality in the service delivery in the healthcare sector, you can ask yourself these few questions. How well are our current processes performing? What you go through. Now, Are we able to achieve our aim? Maybe you set a target that you want to reduce death rate at the hospital. Maybe, for instance, 100 patients dying per year. You set your own target. You want to make sure that only 10 patients will die per year. Ask yourself if you'll be able to achieve that target, right? How much variation there is in our data and hence the process. What are the variations in terms of comparing deaths for previous year and the current year? Is there any variations? Is there anything that you can possibly say that there is quality? Whether a small test of change is having a desired impact. In quality, if you make any changes, you expect the changes to come out with the desired impact. You can ask yourself, maybe you like to improve quality, so you got new machines and then you hire more doctors. Ask yourself, having put this one in place, has it improved the way service users have their final outcome? What are the changes made have resulted in any improvement? Having brought in more doctors and machines, is there any improvement in patient care? And if there are improvements, can the improvement be sustained? Because you don't have to improve the system for only a short period of time. We expect quality to be sustained, that is continuous improvement. So these are the issues that you have to look at. So you could see that quality is quite different when we talk about the quality of health service delivery. We just run through that. You can get the references from here for those of you who were not available the last time. Then we look at the concept of total quality management in healthcare. We said that in terms of total quality, our main objective is improving quality of services and products for patients and other customers continuously, even if there are no specific problems. So it means when we say total quality improvement, total quality management in healthcare, attempts are made to improve quality of service and products for patients and customers continuously, right? So TQM, or total quality management, is providing quality services all the time. So we always have that as our main objective. Then we have a target. If you want to improve service continuously, what are your targets? For all clinicians, all doctors, nurses, care assistants, all of them are involved. We also involve non-clinical system and processes. It means that in terms of leadership, we have all clinical and non-clinical leaders, admin managers, accountants, administrators, and then consultants and physicians, all of them together. If you don't target all of them, you are not going to get quality in the system. So when we say total quality management, we have our objectives, we have a target that we need to achieve. And then what will be our focus? The focus of total quality management is improvement of all the processes and the people that affect the outcomes on a horizontal level. So improvement of all the processes and people that are affected. So if you look at the hospital system, and our focus will be improving referral system to the hospital, how the receptionists will accept you, how the nurses will deal with you, the machines that you're going to use, be it X-ray machines, scans, the quality of service that the consultant will be able to provide for you, the food you eat at the hospital, the bed you sleep on. So you could see that improving quality, the focus will be on improving all processes and people that are affected, right? So our focus will be on improving all the processes involved. Performance improvement of everyone involved. You train them and make sure every single person within the system is doing the best. And we have to first, prevention and the design of the process. The first is the prevention. You try and prevent anything that will deviate the quality focus. You make sure you design the process in such a way that improvement will come in. Then apart from that, there should be inspection and monitoring. If you want to attain total quality, there should be inspection and monitoring. These are all key So that is the focus. And then customers and requirement. Customers and requirement. We have patients, we have professionals, we have review organization, we have suppliers and potential customers. Number one, you have the patients who are receiving the services. They expect quality. Then the professionals, being the clinicians involved, we expect them to do their work very well. Besides that, we have review organizations such as the Care Quality Commission, who are more or less like the policemen who ensure that quality is continuously maintained in the health and social care sector. Then we have suppliers, people who supply the hospital with equipment, with other suppliers like oxygen, people who supply us with catering, materials, food, and the rest. But they are all involved. We expect them to supply the best, right? And then in terms of total quality management, there are no fixed standard because we want to continuously improve. So if you set any standard, the standard is not fixed or static, right? So we don't have anything like you set a standard that we have to make sure that maybe only 5 patients will die in this hospital. That's a fixed standard. We don't want it, right? It should be continuously improved. So if you are able to achieve the target where only 5 patients will die in the hospital for the whole year, we expect the standard to improve until it gets to 0. That is no issue at all. So that is the requirements that we expect. And then what are the methods? Indicator monitoring and utilization of data. One of the methods that you can use for total quality management is indicator monitoring and utilization of data. You know your data of the incidence of death, data on delays at accident emergency. You know all these things are indicators with data on. If you know that patients are able to wait 4 hours in accident emergency, you have data on it. So you need to monitor them and make sure that such data improve. For maybe waiting for 4 hours in A&E, you should be able to make sure that the data comes down to maybe an hour in A&E. At the same time, some of the methods that you can use to improve is brainstorming. Brainstorming how best you can make sure that quality is maintained. And then you can also use group method, or nominal grouping, or Delphi method to ask questions and refine the system. And then we've also got falsehood analysis, which is also a method that can be used to maintain quality. You have flow charting, checklisting, quality function deployment. Our emphasis more on the checklisting. Checklisting is one of the key methods that is used to ensure that total quality is maintained. When we say checklisting, there are a list of things that will be ticked to make sure that everything is right. For instance, if you report at the reception that you have any condition and accident emergency, the receptionist will ask you a few questions and then tell you to go to the next room. There, the nurse will come and ask you your name, your address, what is wrong with you, check your medical history, and then tick all the boxes. It will be passed on to the third person. This is a triage system. You also check and make sure that what the receptionist said and what the nurse said is all correct. So there are checklists that they will tick, 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 tick. At the same time, from there, if you're going to see the consultant for any operation, they will still bring the list and tick everything and make sure that you are the person they are dealing with, you have the right condition, your age, everything. They will tick everything. They will look at the temperature, your weight. All tick box will make sure that they tick everything. They make sure that they are dealing with the right patient so that the right treatment is given unto you. That is one of the ways of maintaining and ensuring quality in service delivery. So we look at all these things, and we have the participants involved in the quality, everyone involved in the process, where actions are defined by the team of people familiar with the process, and there's total institutional involvement. If you talk about quality, it's not only management, it's not only the consultant, it's not only the nurses, but everybody within the institution at the hospital is involved in ensuring there is total quality in the healthcare delivery system. What will be the outcome? The outcome of quality will include measurement and monitoring. You measure and monitor to see whether you are able to achieve the outcome. We also focus on process improvement, consequently reducing the threat to individuals. Focus on process improvement. So the outcome will also be improving the way things are done in the hospital. And it also, one of the outcomes is also promotion of team spirit, improving performance and involving everyone in the system. Continuous activity. Monitoring of process for deviations. You have to monitor the whole system, see where things went wrong. That is quality assurance. And monitoring in terms of the continuous improvement of standard, that is quality improvement. So in terms of continuous activity, we have two things: quality assurance and quality improvement. You are monitoring the process for any deviation. That is quality assurance. And continuous improvement of standard is quality improvement. So you have to make sure all these two things happen, both quality assurance, monitoring and making sure there's no deviation, and continuously improve it. That is quality improvement. And there are follow-up of special or common cause deviation. If you see that things didn't go right at a stage, you need to be follow up to make sure that the right remedy is done. All right, so that is what we did last week. We're going to look at some other theories, popular theories that are being used in business management to see how we'll be able to apply this in health and social care. Right. So we've got a lot of theory that has been used in management. Let's see how best we can use it in healthcare so that it will be able to help us to write our assignment. So this is a continuation of what we did last week. We are trying to explore theories and approaches for measuring and monitoring quality. One of the popular models that we know is the Deming cycle. The Deming quality cycle is quite a popular theory that is used to ensure continuous quality control and consolidation. It's quite simple. You plan something, you do it, you check you are doing it well, and then act. Right. So it's plan, do, check, and act. So you plan the project, you do the project, you check. In that case, you audit it to see whether things are going well, and then whether they are going well or not, you take new action, and that is acting. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to effectively improve quality. And in a nutshell, you're able to consolidate quality. This is a theory that Deming introduced, and this is applicable in the health and social care sector. Even though it was meant initially for the business sector in manufacturing, it's perfectly applicable. How do you plan healthcare delivery? How do you go about doing it? Do you have checks and balances in place? If you determine any error or any deviation, do you actually take action? Do you act on that? All right. Let's look at the same Deming cycle. In terms of the planning, one, you establish the objectives, and then you plan the process. And then you go on to doing it. You implement the plan, and you execute the process. checking. You study the actual results, compare against the expected results, and then you act by taking corrective actions or measures and analyze the differences. So let's look at how the Debian cycle can be applied to the health and social care sector, so that it will be able to help us apply this cycle in ensuring the delivery of quality services in the healthcare sector. Let's say we have a hospital, NHS trust, any hospital at all, with long delays in accident and emergency. Accident and emergency means that it's an emergency situation, and when you go there, you should be able to have your needs met and you leave at a very short time. However, that is not the case. You might think that you want to rush to an accident and emergency, but you end up spending 5 hours or more in an accident and emergency. So the emergency is no longer an emergency, right? So maybe our plan, number one, the first one is the plan. We need to establish the objectives of reducing waiting time at the accident and emergency. So that is our objectives. Then we need to plan the process. How do you plan the process? You can plan by making sure there are more receptionists at the accident and emergency. Apart from that, you have to plan and make sure there are more staff on duty. Number 3, you can ensure that all the best equipment needed are there. Number 4, you can ensure that consultants on call are all the time available. And in some situations, you can also plan and ensure that out-of-hours services are also provided, so that those who will be waiting, if they decide to go through the out-of-hours, can also go through the out-of-hours. So these could be your objectives and the plans. How do you implement it? The do. Implement the plan and execute the processes. How do you implement it? So having plan in that way, you implement it by ensuring that each person involved in the process does the work. Put the measures in place. Start taking action. Patients come, you have more receptionists there, you have more nurses, more doctors, you all go into action and then do their work. So you plan that you will have more nurses and the rest, you have to be able to acquire more nurses, more machines, more consultants on duty, out of hours, everything is in place. Then you take into action. And then check and see whether the waiting time is going to go down. So maybe the waiting time was 5 hours. Having put all the resources in place for a week or two, check the results. Have you been able to bring down waiting time in A&E from 5 hours to maybe 3 hours? Compare against the expected results. Maybe the expected results in the hospital is that after the emergency waiting time should be 1 hour. So check your results and compare it with the standard you've set, whether you'll be able to meet it or not. That is the checking aspect of it. Now, if you check and see that having provided all those resources, all those additional resources, you are still having a waiting time of 5 hours or more, then we take corrective actions. Analyze the differences. Why the differences? Why are we still not able to beat down the waiting time at the hospital? That is taking corrective actions. And then analyze any difference and see where you can bridge the gap. where you can make improvements. That is the corrective actions. That is the corrective actions. So depending on where you work, whether the GP surgery or in the care home, there are certain things going on there that you can plan and improve. That is the essence of the main cycle, right? We have a gentleman called Duran. This is the Duran's quality triology. Duran's quality triology. It's a triangle. At the top is quality planning. At the right-hand side below is quality improvement. And the left-hand side is quality control. And in the middle of it, the main objective is what? Quality management. According to Duran, if you really want to improve quality, manage quality well, it first comes with planning, quality planning. Plan and make sure that the services you are giving are the best. And then you move on to quality improvement to make sure you put the processes in place to make sure you are able to improve upon the services provided. Then quality controls are checks in place to make sure the right thing is done. So again, let's give ourselves an example and let's use the same waiting time delays in accident emergency. I mean, the longer people wait, that's not quality. It's poor services. Because you are going to accident emergency and expect that you go through there and then come out quickly. And in order to improve it, number one, you plan. You plan and then improve upon the quality. If it's 5 hours waiting, it should come to maybe 3 hours or 2 hours. And then measures should be put in place to control the quality. So if you look at the delays, is the delays coming from the receptionist? Is it coming from the triage group? Is it coming from the consultant? So if you're able to determine any section within the process where the delays are coming from, then you can put controls inside to improve it. That is what Duran is talking about the quality triology. Let's look at the detailed explanation of this. So when we say quality planning, as with all management activities and processes, quality journey begins with planning the activities that needs to be done to adhere to the vision, mission, and goals of the organization and to comply with customers and compliance requirements. So again, if we think about the accident and emergency scenario I've just given, as with all management activities and process, quality journey begins with planning. That needs to be done. So in case the vision, the mission, and the goal of the hospital is to provide quality services by reducing the waiting time at accident and emergency so that it will comply with what customers need and they meet the standard procedure for the hospital, then planning is very, very important. And in quality planning, we have few things to look at. Number one, we need to understand the customers. Sick people who are coming to us as an emergency, we need to understand them. We need to determine their needs. People have different needs. Defining the product or services and features and specification. What they actually need. The services that they need. Designing the product and making sure you provide the right services for them. And devising the process that will enable to meet the customer's needs. So looking at quality planning, you could see that it is in the healthcare sector. Wherever you are working, if it's a care home, you have to understand the service users, the resident in the care home, you have to understand them in the first place. Because they are service users. You have to understand their individual needs. And then you'll be able to define the product and services that they need right? So if you have varied patients at the care home, some need walking aids, some need assistance in feeding, some need assistance in toileting, some need assistance in going to sleep or stay in the chair. You need to buy hoist and all that. So you need to understand the customers. And there are some who are partial sighted. You need to understand them. You need to determine their needs. And then once you determine their needs, you define products that will meet them, right? And then you devise the process that will enable you to meet them. So this planning process is applicable in every healthcare setting. It might be in a mental home, it might be in a GP surgery, it might be in the hospital. You follow the same principle. We need to understand the customer, determine their needs, define the products that they need, and design the product to meet their needs, and devise the process that will enable you to meet the customer needs. So that is quality planning. That's the planning aspect of it, as Juran postulated. Let's look at the quality planning. Let's look at quality control. Quality control. Once the processes are defined, responsibility is now with operation to adhere to the process and the specification required by the product or service. For this purpose, periodic checks and inspection has to be done. Metrics need to be tracked to ensure that the process is in control and meets specification and metrics need to set a target. Wherever there is a defect or a corrective or preventive action needs to be done, the root cause has to be arrived at. So in terms of quality control, it's the responsibility. Once the processes are defined, the responsibility is now with the operation, how to go about implementing it. We have to make sure that all processes and procedures in place are followed. In the care home environment, for instance, there are rules and regulations, there are policies that need to be followed. We have to make sure that we follow them all to the letter. And where there is any defect within the process, we need to make sure that that defect is addressed. All right. So having a look at quality control, which are things that we put in place to ensure that the quality is maintained, we have another aspect, which is the quality improvement. This is however robust the process design and the product features are, there are chances that it may fail to meet customers' requirement and design target. If it's a manufacturing, it's very, very simple. You want to manufacture a car. No matter how robust the design is and the features of the car, there are chances that it may fail to meet customers' requirement and design target. There are instances where a Volkswagen designed nice cars, but the braking system are defective and some cars has got accident, right? So no matter how robust the process is, there are bound to be chances that it may fail. In the same way, when you come to the health and social care sector, no matter how robust the process is designed, no matter how policies and procedures are laid down, there are bound to be some instances where there are lapses, right? It might be due to some special causes that are present in the system. It might be due to change in business scenarios, customer requirement, market completion, and many more forces. The role of quality improvement is to identify and prove the need for improvement from the existing performance level, even though they meet the target, and devise means and ways to achieve new targets and implement them successfully. So quality improvement, as is the case for manufacturing sector, should be the same for the health care sector. Because here we are dealing with patients and we need to continuously improve quality. So there are instances where issues crop out And out of those problems, committees are set, they do investigation, they come up with a recommendation, identify all the failings in the system, and then that is used to improve the system. The CQC, the Care Quality Commission, for instance, are able to audit and come out with issues of failure in the care homes. And if they do happen, they give recommendations to improve the system. In extreme situations, the care homes are fined. If they are not fined, as a last resort, they can even close the care home. Why? Because they want to improve quality. Right, so in the healthcare sector, it does. Quality improvement is very, very important. If we look at the case of Harold Shipman, the GP who was deliberately clearing a lot of the patient under his care, they have to look at why people were dying. So just as in manufacturing, you look at the process and design and product features, and there are possible chances that it may fail to meet customers' requirements. In the healthcare sector, there are some some sort of failures in the system, right? So that services actually does not meet customer requirement and target, and therefore committees are tasked to look into it. Why do they do that? They do it, investigate, and come out with a recommendation that will lead to quality improvement. For instance, in the Baby Peter case, it will realize that the health system, the primary care failed him, secondary care failed him, even the failure went as far as social services, they also failed him. So why did they do all those investigations? The end of it all, they do the investigations to make sure that the system is improved so that better quality care will be provided for patients. So quality improvement in the healthcare delivery system is even more important than in the manufacturing sector. So the role of quality improvement is to identify and prove the need for improvement from the existing performance level. Well, it might be good, but you can always improve upon system. So you could see that, again, this theory is even more applicable in the healthcare sector. That is why most of the business modules have now been borrowed and applied to the health and social care sector. I would expect that having looked at the Durand's model, having looked at Deming's model, last week we looked at two other models, total quality management, you will be able to start working on your assignment and ensure that you'll be able to apply these models. I've looked at 4 models and theories so far. So I'll expect that you'll be able to apply this model in the health care delivery system. In our next lecture, I will take you through how to start doing the assignment, how to apply the models, and we'll see how we can discuss it together so that you can start working on your assignment straight away. I'll end here, and then I'll speak to you on Friday. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Bye for now. Bye.